Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, Republican lawmaker Kean Jr., I've talked about him several times before. He finally returned to work after being MIA for 4 months. So, I, I'm just going to say up front, I'm not buying his excuse, and I'll explain why. But if you haven't caught my previous videos or you're not aware of this is a guy who has not cast a vote in Congress in months, literally in 4 months. He vanished without a word. Nobody knew, like even his own party, nobody knew what was going on, it seems. I think eventually they knew what was going on, but they still wouldn't say anything. And, it's like, oh, it's a medical condition, blah, blah, blah. That's all they would say. His office just kept saying, oh, he's dealing with a personal medical issue. All will be revealed. He's going to be back any day. And this went on for months and months and months. Meanwhile, he's collecting paychecks from you and I as taxpayers. Okay. So, how nice for him. So, here's the thing. This is what he said on the House floor. He came back, gave a speech on the House floor after vanishing, after not being able to do his job for the people in his district. So here's what he said. That was the reason.
Several months ago, due to health concerns, I entered the hospital for some testing. I did not believe that this would result in a long-term stay. I was given the diagnosis of depression. Now, when people hear the word depression, many people think simply it means feeling sad. But depression is so much more than that. It is physical. It is emotional. And until you experience it yourself, it is difficult to fully understand how powerful this illness can be. The doctors recommended that I remain in the hospital to address my illness. They explained to me that this would be the fastest way to recovery. And to be honest, I was hesitant. I didn't think that I had time for it. I had responsibilities to my family. I had responsibilities to my constituents. I had responsibilities to this institution. And like many people, I believed that I could simply push through. But I agreed to follow my doctor's recommendations. Again, not believing that it would result in a long-term stay.
So here's the thing. Let me say this up front. I have the utmost of compassion, empathy, caring for people dealing with depression. I have been through it myself. I have had, bouts after my mother died, when I was a child, dealing with literal life and death issues then of, literally not wanting to be here anymore. And so I understand, like it can incapacitate you. It is debilitating at times. I truly, truly understand that. Here's the thing though. This same man voted to take health care subsidies, health insurance subsidies away from Americans. He voted for the big butt ugly bill that the Republicans passed. He voted to cut 1 trillion in Medicaid funding for the people in our country who can least afford health insurance. So he is reaping the rewards. He is able to go and take a 4-month, paid leave on our dime and go get the care that he needs while absolutely refusing others of the same benefits. Okay. And it's not just the health insurance issue. This is a guy, he's a Republican. So he's part of the coalition that refuses to vote for legislation that would protect workers. He's a member of a party that doesn't believe that the federal government should be able to mandate paid sick leave for workers across the country. There are people who literally cannot afford to take time off to go get the health care, to go get the mental health care that he just received. But does he say that? Does he say, you know what? I've had an awakening. I'm thinking about this differently now after what I just went through. after being blessed enough with this position in Congress, receiving taxpayer income the whole time I was off, being able to have the top of the line, the best, premium health insurance known to man, and I don't have to worry about how to pay for it, which covered all of my treatment. Does he bother to acknowledge that? No, nothing, nothing. And here's the other thing. This is why I'm not sold on his explanation. This is why I think he saw how people reached out and felt so bad for John Fetterman when he went through his depression, which was very, I believe, very real because of the stroke that he had. I mean, that is well documented that when people have strokes, they very often experience very severe depression after that. So I am not doubting that John Fetterman went through that, but I think that he's using the Fetterman excuse. He's seeing like, oh, well, people are never going to let me off the hook if it's for something else, but if it's for depression, look at all the support he got. Now, again, could be true. I don't know, but here's why I'm not buying it. Okay. Guys might recall I shared this a while back. This article, which was in the New Republic, explained that Kean was traveling in California during his absence. This is a New Jersey Republican. This guy was on the complete opposite side of the United States while he was out for these 4 months. This article said the New Jersey Republican has been missing in action since March 5, skipped 88 House votes so far, and hasn't been seen in Washington for more than 75 days. Yet he has also taken Amtrak and used several rideshare apps around San Francisco, according to pre-primary reports that Kean filed with the Federal Election Commission. So he admitted to this. He absolutely admitted to this, being in California and making these expenses. And this made absolutely no sense to me because you're saying you're out for a health condition, but then you're writing these off. You're saying that these are business expenses. You're saying that you taking the Amtrak train in San Francisco or traveling around in an Uber or, a Lyft is something to do with your job. So you're saying that, oh, this is a legitimate expense related to my job as a Congress member. How does that work? And then it made no sense as well because while Kean was off, everybody was saying, like, is he even alive still? Like, can he make a video? We need proof of life. Like, we don't even know if this guy is still alive. We haven't seen him on camera in months. And one of his spokesperson people said, oh, well, where he is, there are no cameras. Like, what are you talking about? And then it was documented that he was making stock trades while he's supposedly, now we're hearing, in a facility dealing with mental health issues. First of all, if you are dealing with mental health issues, should you be making stock trade decisions during that time? Right? I mean, who knows? Maybe he was so depressed that was the only thing that made him happy, right? Maybe the stock trades, maybe that's what made him depressed. I don't know. What are we to make of this? Who's in a facility and getting treated for major depressive disorder that keeps you out of your job for 4 months, but you're making stock trades? And here's the other thing that doesn't make sense. During this 4 months, and once all of this hit a fever pitch and, the media really started to pay attention to his absence, he was interviewed by phone. So he could be interviewed. He could get on a phone call with a reporter, but he couldn't make a video and post it online. And then it gets even weirder because in this interview, he tells the journalist, Well, the doctors say I'm going to make a full recovery and they don't expect that I'm going to have any lasting health issues, or that I'm not going to have any long term adverse effects, like something to that effect. Who says that about a mental health issue? Who says that about depression? Right? I'm not a doctor, but I know enough about depression to know unless there's like an acute onset, like a death in the family, a divorce, like something like that. Depression is something you have to manage. It's something you have to work on, whether it be with medication, lifestyle changes, dietary changes, therapy, all of the above. Like, who says, "Oh, doctor thinks I'm gonna be good as new and, no long-term health effects." What do you mean what? Just makes no sense whatsoever. So, anyway, guys, there you go. Make of it what you will, but, again, this shit has to change. You know, we work hard for our income, and we spend a lot of money on taxes every year, all of us. We send a lot of money to the federal government, and this is what we get in return? While they take shit away from us? Okay, yeah, sure, that makes sense. Alright. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.